I like casually mentioned to Lita one time, I was like, hey, it would be kind of fun if we, you know, like designed a van and lived out there.
Like, as soon as he said it to me, the next day I told every single person that we were going to move into a van and live in it.
Hey everyone, I'm Dylan.
I'm Lita, and we've lived in our van for a little more than a year. Come on in, we want to show it to you. So this is our kitchen. We have a 3-burner stove as well as an oven. It runs off propane, which we store in the back. We have a propane locker. We've got through a whole year with 1 propane tank. This is a very low draw, which is great. We cook, I would say, most days we cook, and then occasionally on the weekends or something we'll go out for some fun. Over here we've got our sink. This is our cover. It does fit all the way in, but then you have to really pry it out. We have a 33-gallon tank for water. We can refill that probably every one in 1.5 or 2 weeks. And then down below in our kitchen, we've got 2 separate cupboards. One though is our restroom. So it has our slide out cassette toilet where we go to the bathroom, only number 1. And then in our other cabinet, we've got our pots and pans, our plates, mugs, mason jars, and then down in our drawer that comes all the way out, we've got some Tupperware, towels, Magic Bullet, and water bottles. And then lastly in our kitchen, we've got spice rack that has all of our spices for cooking. Our fruit basket, it's really full right now because we're storing food for a week. It's not usually this full. A little cabinet for our coffee and tea. We have our kettle in there. We have a collapsible kettle. It's very important in the van to have small things. And this is our food pantry. We keep like spices, hot sauce, pancake mix, and various things in there.
So I have always loved design, and so I went to school for mechanical engineering. I really liked the idea of like being able to make stuff. So I kind of had a life goal of being able to design a house or like design something like build a cabin. Tiny homes became really popular, or I guess they were popular, but I kept seeing them in like the woods. I was like, oh, it's cool, off the grid. Like, I wonder what I could do. So I always thought that was a cool thing. And then I caught on to this like van life thing, or people converting buses, vans, RVs, whatever vehicle they could find. And I thought it was kind of cool. And I like casually mentioned to Lita one time, I was like, hey, it would be kind of fun if we, you know, like designed a van and lived out there. I wasn't really like planning for it. I kind of just said like, oh, this would be a cool thing. And then Lita kind of took it from there.
Yeah. As soon as he said it to me, the next day I told every single person that we were going to move into a van and live in it. So I'm a big traveler, have been a big traveler since way before meeting Dylan. And so I was gung-ho to like get on the road. Dylan was most excited about the build. I was most excited about living in the van and seeing new places. All right, so in the front section, we installed 2 swivel seats so that both Dylan and I can hang out and sit backwards. We have this table on a lagoon mount, and then we actually have a table that folds up down here, and boom, I can work next to Dylan, which is great. And then over here, we have a Dometic fridge. It's dual-sided, which means you can set the temperature for either side. We do keep both for refrigerators. We don't have one for a freezer, but you can. And then down below me, we've got our footrest, but it also is shoe storage. And then up top in our cab, we've got just a bunch of like our extra things. So we've got games back there. We've got our first aid stuff. Dylan and I put some sweatshirts, towels, so that we can easily grab just like the ones we use the most. And then we have a max air fan up in our ceiling. That's what keeps us cool. We turn it on most of the time. We also turn it on for ventilation when we're using the oven and stove.
We designed the van. We bought the van like at the beginning of a summer, designed it, built it throughout a whole summer, and we were trying to make sure that we could leave by the fall. Once we did it, we wanted to travel the US. We knew that the US is beautiful in every nook and cranny, and it had different things to offer depending on where you were. So we're both from the Mid-Atlantic region on the East Coast, so we decided to do like a figure 8 kind of and test out the van for the first few months, kind of in our like home territory if you take the whole US into consideration. And pretty soon we were thinking like, let's go to every state, let's go to all the national parks, and then go from there.
So we've lived in the van for a year and a few months. Last year, within a year, we did all 48 states and all the national parks in the 48 states. I'd say we were moving faster than most people, so we definitely got used to being on the move constantly. But this year we're trying to learn how to slow down a bit because I feel like you get the itch to get out there and see everything at once, which we did. And now we're like, okay, we can take it slower. We can learn to slow down and just chill in new places instead of move.
Yeah, and I think our van build kind of reflected that because we lived in it for about a year before we really considered making any changes, but when we knew we wanted to hang a little bit more, spend more time with the friends we met on the road, we like added a seat, we wanted to add a little bit more hanging area, keep it more open. So we weren't necessarily always on the move and saying, it was great to meet you, but we're not gonna be able to hang again. And then now we can see people a lot more, so it's great. So this cabinet we just bought from Home Depot straight up, so all we had to do was really paint it. The first thing is it's really the end of our kitchen. This is where we have like cutting boards, utensils, different things like that you would need, scissors, everything you need to cook. But the bottom half of this is really Lita's closet. So we got some more packing cubes with clothes, same with down here. And that kind of brings me to this pantry. This pantry is also Lita's clothes, but a little more like accessories and things like that. This cabinet is snacks and pantry. We have a couple more cabinets here. One of them is for like our toiletries and stuff that you would need for your everyday bathroom usage. And one of them is all of our electronic equipment, so like cameras, drone. Behind this cabinet, we have like a little bit of a cubby that we built in, which we can show later, but it has like books and some chargers, and our Wii Boost is poking out right there. And that's kind of nice because like where I'm sitting right here in the seat, we have this little drawer that comes down, and there's a hamper in here that we can put our dirty laundry, and then this kind of turns into a little desk like work area. So I put my computer right here and my journal here, and I'm like in video meetings and chatting and doing all that right here, and it slides away and kind of locks into place. Then down here there's a drawer. That's how we actually get our laundry out, or a cabinet door. Also storage to the back, so when we have stuff in our garage and it's full, sometimes we need to get a couple things from this angle. So this seat we actually just added. We kind of did some updates to our van. We wanted a little bit more seating area. So we can sit and work from here. It's pretty comfortable. Underneath it is our water tank, but right in front we have a little bit of space. So we actually have some more pantry items like, you know, spices and things that you would put in your like long-term stuff like canned goods and things like that. It also has access to like our water pump and our water heater and our water tank. In case anything goes wrong, we can kind of like do some mechanical work down there. We have some decorations which are nice. One of them is a scratch off map because we did all 48 states last year. It has the nice state flower of each one, so we scratched it off as we went along the way. And one of them is one of Lita's best friends actually cross-stitched us this like really nice cross-stitch of a van. It says home is where you park it, which is like a classic van thing. This is our like call to vanity. It's our only mirror in the van, so this is where we like get ready, make sure we like look decently enough to walk outside. But that's our main mirror for the whole place. I kind of wish we had to stand up one, but you only get so much space. This is kind of like a utility for like the bed. I keep like my AirPods in here for meetings when I'm working. We have like tissues in case we have to blow our nose, scrunchie, sometimes some chargers, so it's kind of like that. And then hanging up here is like Lita's sleep mask and kind of things that are just nice to have for sleeping, but you want kind of out of the way of just being on top of stuff.
Like I said, we went to every state and every national park last year. In order to do that, I had a big Excel spreadsheet with our calendar on it, and I knew exactly, like I had planned out the whole year in terms of weekends, so I knew exactly what national park we needed to be at and what weekend, and then the weekdays were like loose. Dylan's working full time, I am working as well. So basically during the weeks we had a little flexibility, but on the weekends we knew where we had to be and when. It was crazy. If you're gonna do that, obviously you have to get a Parks Pass. We had a Parks Pass. I am a very type A planner, so I did a lot of research before we went to the parks. And all the national parks are amazing, but we definitely share a few favorites.
I would say our favorite national parks, we have 3. And this is just because we really just skimmed the surface of each national park. But from our first impression of our top 3 parks, one is Yosemite. Yosemite, we kind of went in thinking this place might be a little overhyped. Everybody says it's the best thing ever. But we ended up loving it also. We had a great time there.
We hiked Half Dome.
We hiked Half Dome. We got to like bike around the valley. We got to kind of see like the true like grand scale that Yosemite is from all the different angles. The second one I would say, not in no particular order, is probably the Grand Tetons. There's something about like the prominence of the mountains over the water when you're driving that's just like really incredible while you're there. Great sunsets, great hiking. You could see moose. We actually saw a moose with a
baby. And also, that is one place that we did get to slow down a bit. We spent 5 days just in the Tetons, which is really nice.
Yeah, my parents rented a van and caravan with us, which is really special. Our third one is Glacier. It's in Montana, Glacier National Park. We got to hike with some of our friends and we saw a bunch of bears, we saw grizzlies. It was just truly magical experience.
Yeah, like the landscape there is just majestic. So if you haven't been to Glacier, you gotta go to Glacier.
And we had plenty of huckleberry jam.
Yeah.
Welcome to our bed. I'd say I want to highlight this pillow. So Lita and I bought this pillowcase abroad, I think it was in Ecuador, before we had designed the van in any way. And so we actually color matched one of these blues in in Home Depot to get like all of our blue colors. And we tried to keep like the neutrals similar to the neutrals. So as you can see, we have like blues, whites, neutrals, all kind of centered around this pillow piece. So that's important for our design. Our bed used to be the kind that you slide out, but we weren't really sliding it that much. So we decided to fix it and make it permanent. So it really is just almost a full size, a little bit smaller than a full size. With a normal comforter on it, blankets. You can tell we have a lot of pillows. Those kind of move around and help us keep warm when it's winter. But when it's summer out, we can kind of throw them to the other side of the van and kind of cool off. We have 2 sliding windows on either side of the van. What we like about this is you can slide them open and it kind of creates a nice cross breeze across our van. And if it's really hot, we have a fan up front that can like suck out the wind. And so sometimes we'll even turn on this fan, which we added to keep us nice and cool. It'll like either blow down on us because it can adjust like this, or just kind of like help with that current of air. So on either side of the bed, we have these like little cubby things, and the cubbies store like books and things. On this side, we have a charger so that we can charge our watches, our phones. We have these reading lights that will turn on, so when we're laying like this, we can read, and it's really nice. Those also have USB plugs, which is huge. Because one thing that we like to do is watch TV or movies. So we have this capsule projector. We got this like little box and kind of just like jerry-rigged it together to stick up on this. And once it's sticking there, we can plug it in with this cord that connects to our reading light. And then we hang like a projector right there, and we can lay and watch TV, which is pretty nice. So that's this side. Books, charging, projector, TV. This side is a little bit more storagey, I would say. It has our projector sheet. It has some more decoration, and then it also has Starlink, which was a huge addition to the van. Helps us work so much better. So that kind of lives in the corner over there to help give us internet inside the van. So our last 2 cabinets are my clothes. You can see it's kind of packed, but I have all these nice packing cubes. So each one has a different thing, like all my shorts are in one, all my fun shirts for the beach are in one, and things like that. Great storage here. Speaking of storage, let's go to the garage and I can show you that stuff. Welcome to our garage. Pretty similar to, I feel like, a lot of people's garages. It stores a ton of stuff. As you can see, first facing, it has all of our different bags and things like that. So like different bags for hiking and things. Take this one out so you can see over here we have our propane tank, which goes through the van up to our oven. Next to the propane tank, there's a diesel tank that helps with diesel. So we have a diesel heater. There's a line that runs through the van's floor all the way around and then back up through the other side where our diesel heater is. That helps like pump nice hot air into the van. This cord that you see coming through here and up next to me, that's our Starlink router. It goes like this, and we like to keep it up on the roof while we're parked. So that kind of just gets fed out through this door crack. Moving these two gym bags too, you can see that we have more stuff like yoga stuff. Normally we're at the beach right now, so our paddleboard is actually blown up out there, but normally we keep that back here. We have the tracks for the tire in case we get stuck, gym shoes, table, more stuff for camping, beer of course because we're in Mexico at the beach. I don't know if you can see back there, but basically that's where our hamper is, and earlier I described where that door was, so you can kind of see all the way through the garage. If need be, I can crawl through if I needed to do any maintenance. Behind this mess of stuff is where all of our electrical system is, so like our batteries and everything like that. That's like the hub of our electronics for the van. What we did here, which I actually kind of like, so you can see our frame right here is kind of long to help support our bed, but underneath that we put this netting, and the netting holds things like spike ball, extra chairs, like some blankets, and our tennis rackets because we like to play tennis. So really just how could we maximize storage back here where people aren't seeing it every day and we can just come back here and get things if we need. So our vans come with like a black plastic thing here, which we didn't really love. They are pretty good for like scratching and stuff, but we wanted a little bit better touch, like a nicer look. So we put this wood paneling in all over all of those sections, and it matches the one on our sliding door as well, so it's a little consistent. And then we have these window covers. The window covers we made out of like Reflectix and a little duct tape, and then we took this fabric that again kind of matched that pillow I talked about. We use the same fabric for all of our window covers and our fan pillow that like covers the ceiling fan. Gives it a little bit nicer, like brighter feel on the inside instead of having blacked out windows. Makes it feel more open on the inside. Up above, when we have this closed, there's a nice ladder, and the reason why we like this is because we can go up to our nice roof deck where we get to hang out in the sun when it's nice out, and kind of fix our solar panels if anything happens there. And that's the van. Thanks for joining us on this tour. I've loved every bit of this. I would have to say that I'm more of the like driver and generally like
The builder.
the builder, driver, but then from there, like really a lot of the magic happens from Lita, so I'm very lucky to be with her.
Right now we are actually in Baja at the van meetup, Escapar a la Baja. And we are going to be in Baja for like winter. Then we're going to chill in the US on the West Coast. Not a lot of plans. And then this summer we're going to be in Alaska. So if you want to check out any of our adventures, you can follow me on Instagram at Lita of the Pack, or you can watch our YouTube, which is Lita and Dylan. Anyways, thanks Tiny Homes for checking out our van, and we'll see you on the road. Woo!